Hello, and welcome back to Pathologic Classic HD. In our last adventure, we spoke to younger Vlad, we visited the polyhedron to ensure it wasn't infected, and now we continue north to do a favour for younger Vlad, which is to deal with some escaped butchers. We may have something that we need. On our way northwards, I'm going to see if we can perhaps buy some food, because we are now beginning to run low. What you got there? Overpriced, but could be worse, I guess. What can I give him in return? I have no use for shotgun shells. They seem to be selling at a relatively high price today. Children's powder sells for an insane amount, but it is definitely not worth selling. At all. I can probably sell some bottles of water. Perhaps a jar of Meridol. Or perhaps a jar of morphine. Unsure if I should get rid of anything else just yet. However, I have the feeling I should probably keep a decent stack of gold in handy today. So, still heading north towards this house where the butchers might live. So, what these butchers have been apparently doing is taking the dead and making incisions in their bodies and using the organs and the blood splatter patterns to divinate the future. This was a practice that was done in ancient Rome, amongst various other places. However, usually with the blood of animals rather than the blood of humans. This probably seems very foreign and strange to most viewers, and it also seems foreign and strange to most of the townsfolk. However, the townsfolk are not the native people of this land. They are all Russian, but the townsfolk are not steppe people. They are distinctly different people, and that is something that I think doesn't always come across very well. Oh, lemons guy. I have no lemons for you today. Interesting poster, wouldn't you agree? Advertising the town's play. The play being the town itself, I'm sure. I think this is the house here. Before we go in, I might trade with this girl to see if she's got any ammunition that she can spare. She does not. Right, let's wander inside. And be exceptionally careful as we go. It's like a plague cloud. Which really is unnerving because I don't want to get caught with another infection again. Tablets. Odds and ends and knickknacks. Oh my god, a loaf of bread. Now, here they are. The butchers. And a dead body. I know for a fact they will not take kindly to me. However, I'll save the game and talk. Nope, they don't take kindly. Oh dear, oh dear. You'll notice they do look distinctly different from the average person in the town. They also appear to have teardrop tattoos on their left cheek. If you know very much about Russian prison tattoos, you'll be able to appreciate what that means. As an aesthetic choice, it's something that will really stick in the mind of Russian players more than it really would with British ones, I think. Is the body Simon's? Ah, Rubin. We need to plan the battle in advance, the battle being the task that lies ahead of us. I will not give up without a fight, even if everyone else has to come to our terms with our mortality. Even if everyone else has to come to terms with their own mortality. We need to join our forces, Bachelor, and combine our diverse skills. Our enemy is invisible, ubiquitous, dissolved in the very things we need to purify. The enemy seems invulnerable, but is not imperceptible. Whatever terror it instills in us is explained simply by our lack of knowledge. If we are to destroy the enemy, we need to study it first. For this, we need to capture it. This is our first and foremost priority. Please forgive my reiteration of self-evident things like these. My only reason for spelling it out is to better understand it myself. Our goals are not quite the same. I strive to save as many lives as possible, whereas your purpose is to put an end to the outbreak. I've been told of your abiding desire to uncover the truth. I would gladly help you with that, if you will help me achieve my goal. Together we can eradicate the disease and save everything that might still be saved. Signed, Stach Rubin. P.S. You will find me at my secret prosectorium in the warehouse district. The map is on the reverse of this letter. It's there. Where we visited Rubin earlier. As a point of note, it is not Rubin's house that Rubin is now currently staying in. It is a distinctly different place. Being effectively a warehouse. Although, given the recent events, he might now have to basically live in a warehouse. Probably wouldn't do him very much good to his health, but then again, it's better than plague. Please tell me you got a bandage. Ah, he doesn't. Are you kidding me? 5 bottles for a tourniquet? Fine. I mean, it's... that'll do. So, I found the body. Might be Simon, might not be. Probably the best person to know about that would be Georgi. Ooh, revolver ammo. Could do with some. Seven shots. Plus the 6 in my part. Plus the 6 in the pistol, but not ideal. Where do they have the bullets from, and why are they collecting bullets? Nobody really knows. Okay. Another thing that might be worthy of note is that, other than that letter, it did point out something quite fitting, I think. Stach is trying to save as many people as he can, but Bachelor has slightly different priorities. He's not out for the simple saving of lives in the short term. He is out for the ending of the outbreak and eventually the conquering of death itself. In many ways, one could say this as an end justify the means calculation of morality, or that he's coldly calculating the lives saved versus lives lost in a much greater manner than is immediately apparent. After all, saving the lives of hundreds, if not thousands of people over the years is surely, is that not more valuable than saving the lives of a few dozen townsfolk? Once off and never again. I believe that this argument does have some merit, but it's a very difficult one to say. Nothing useful. One always has to be careful of the warehouses, especially at night. It's very easy to get trapped in this maze. Rubin.
What?
Dear colleague, by some happy coincidence I managed to get my hands on a certain vessel that I believe I can recover the pathogen from. Which means we are now set to research the vaccine, but, odd as it may sound, I'd rather avoid tapping into that source I mentioned unless I absolutely have to. I'd rather examine the samples that can be procured for the dead tissue. Wait a moment, how can we possibly produce a vaccine with what scarce equipment that we have? It won't be a vaccine per se, but rather a solution that might temporarily bolster the immune system. True, I don't have much in the way of equipment, but I have plenty of reagents, herbal tinctures, Twirin infusions, by and large. The least we can expect is to keep ourselves relatively safe until a better equipped team arrives. Where are we going to get all the dead tissue from? I was going to ask you to bring a sample or two for one of the infected quarters. Be doubly careful, though. Make sure to get the section fully cleared with one of the rulers, else the risk would be twice as high as it needs be. I'd go myself, but there are reasons that make it impossible for me to leave Simon's body unattended. That's some request. What's this additional danger that you speak of? Dissection of dead bodies is something that the locals strongly disapprove of. For the steppe people, the human body represents the world. Only a member of the special Tagler, Burach, the named one, is allowed to open it up. This is a caste-based privilege, you see. Does everyone in town share the same prejudice? No, of course not. But even those who are oblivious of the sacred meaning of the kitten's rituals would still oppose the unsanctioned dissection because it's traditionally inappropriate, a cultural taboo, if you will. An autopsy performed by anyone other than a true-born menchu is seen as a blasphemy of the worst kind. Even incest is not as repulsive to them, which doesn't stop them from being comfortable with all manner of other slaughter. These people are outlaws, not a single one of them is a stepman. Well, what am I supposed to do? Do pay a visit to Governor Sabarov. I wouldn't go to Vlad if I were you. He's too resourceful, too inclined to drag you into his schemes. The Kains are also out of the question, as anything that leads Georgi to me would likely result in Simon's body being removed. I still have a lot of work to do. Find someone else to obtain the samples. Our job is to study the specimen under the microscope, not to cut it in some seedy alley. Oh, sounds reasonable. I'll see you then. I feel that the Bachelor would be more prone to being a kind of an asshole about it, for the sake of adding on the side quest. I'll pretend that it's reasonable. So, before we continue on though, possibly is worth speaking to the Kains. Because we have effectively completed that other quest. We have found the body. We know where it is. We know what's going on. So. Oops. Oh. As I said, it's very easy to get lost within this place. But yes. Something that's worth noting is that there is, yes, a distinct difference between the culture of the townsfolk and the culture of the steppe people. There has been an intermingling over time, but the steppe people are much more nomadic, much less European. A lot of their cultural practices are quite alien to us, including that of any dissection of a human body being utterly taboo. But I still think it's important that we understand what these cultural practices are and what they mean. Perhaps I'll also go speak to Vlad as well, just to see if he'll offer me any reward. I know within this game that I do seem quite obsessed with rewards and coin and gold, but genuinely it's not out of a sense of greed. It's out of a sense of desperation and survivalism.
Is the disease really contagious?
There are some very peculiar attitudes about the dead in your town. Yes, they are derived from pagan superstition. The body is considered to be the sum of all truths, the ligaments keeping it whole, to be the ligaments of the universe. It must not be taken apart without knowledge of how those dissection cuts will reverberate in the makeup of the universe. And you share in that superstition? The body is a self-contained system. Sometimes it's fascinating to take note of how ingenious its natural design is. Not a single useless part. That's not true at all. There are plenty of useless parts in the human body. Even atavisms such as the coccyx serve to add a certain charm. Everything is in harmony. But the system is easily disrupted. Yes, when an alien object interferes, like a bullet, a knife, or a foreign organism. Is it true what they say about microbes being sentient? Age kills a person even in perfect environment. I devote my professional fortunes to this regrettable fact. Simon has proven otherwise. The Kains use that as foundation for a new era. Incidentally, I don't understand what Georgie's frustrations are. What does it matter if Simon was undone by a murderer's blade or by an infectious filth? Both things are equally foreign interference. Unless, of course, the microbe originated inside Simon. Who knows what methods the Keeper employed to reach those impressive results? It could have scary side effects. Oh, the methods were purely spiritual, there's no doubt about that. I'm a skeptic, but Simon is a special case. Alright, far be it from me to try to change your mind. Important dialogue. explaining most of the things that I'm having difficulty in explaining. But no reward for the quest, alas. But yes, my obsessions in trying to find rewards for each risk that I'm taking, they come out of a sense of knowing how bad things are going to get, and out of a sense of desperation. I don't want to be the richest person in town. I don't really care about that at all. I don't care about having the biggest or best guns. I don't care about the stats of my guns. I don't really care about any of that stuff at all. I just want things to work. I want to survive. That gets progressively more difficult. The better prepared you are earlier on, the easier things will be. At least, that's what I tell myself. There are very few things that destroy a sense of compassion than scarcity. Or very few things that destroy a sense of compassion quicker than scarcity is what I mean to say. It's very easy to lose your sense of compassion, especially when you yourself are suffering. Maintaining that compassion, it's hard. And maintaining a sense of compassion even when you start to see the bodies pile up is also hard.
I'm too old. Nothing can harm me anymore.
I will richly reward a friend that finds Simon's body for me, and I will squeeze the last drop of blood from the mongrel who stole it. I found the body snatchers. They were runaway butchers. Did you find the body? Body, dissected and disfigured. However, I find it hard to believe that it once belonged to your brother. I'll show you the building where I found it. I will send my people there at once. You have my gratitude. Just don't bring the body directly to the Crucible, and don't forget to quarantine your people before they return to their everyday duties. 4,000 gold. Nice. It's a fair chunk of money that we have now. But I get the feeling we're probably not going to be able to hold on to it for very long. So, now we have to try to figure out what to do. First thing, we're asked to go and see Alexander Savarov, who we must deal with in regards to sorting out the problem of the butchers and the problem of the missing body of Simon Kain. The skies turn completely grey and the rain falls down. Autumn is truly upon us. I'll leave it there for now, and I will see you all anon.